This is what I regret about my military career as a 28-year-old Army Reserve member. I joined at 26. I've been in 2 years. I'm currently 42 Alpha enlisted, but I really wish I would have joined at 17 years old because I would be so much further ahead in the game than I am. I used to be afraid to talk to the recruiters at when they would show up at school. They were all dressed up in their uniform. They had the push-up and pull-up bars. I was like, man, they're gonna put me in the military. They're gonna send me directly overseas, directly to war, and that's just not the case. But I was too naive to even understand to talk to these recruiters and ask questions and go seek out answers from other enlisted members or other officers. So I just had this preconceived notion of like, hey, don't talk to them because they're going to send me to war directly. And that's just not the case. Now being in, I really wish I would have talked to those recruiters at 15, 16, prepared myself to join at 17. Then you're off to the races. When you join at 17 while you're still in high school, if you are still in school, you split it up into 2 summers. So it would be junior year summer going into senior year, you knock out basic training. And then after that, you would knock out AIT senior year after summer. So then you can still go to college at your normal time frame as a freshman, whatever the case is. Now, when you're at school, I would highly recommend doing ROTC because they pay for a little bit of your school, at least in the Army, they pay for a little bit of your school. And you also are able to commission as an officer once you complete 2 years of ROTC. This is the place you want to be. There's a lot more prestige in being an officer than being enlisted. Enlisted is more hands-on, kind of dealing with the soldiers. Officers is more kind of planning management. Think of it as like worker and manager. But the OCS is where the like the but the officers is where like the credibility is. Everybody just wants to be an officer because it means you have a degree. Now, there's a lot of people that are enlisted that have a degree but don't want to go to OCS again because they've been in for 10 years and they're comfortable and they would have to restart rank. But in my personal opinion, I'm after prestige and I just want to be the best of the best, man. And that's typically the officer side. So I'm dropping a packet right now to go to OCS at 28 years old and I've been in for 2 years. Again, if I could go back in time, I would have done ROTC instead, but I finished college without doing ROTC, so here I am. Another thing that I really wish I would have done is study the benefits that are available more to understand them more, right? Like I understand the VA loan, I understand the healthcare, I understand the disability, all of those things. But if I would have known even more before enlisting or joining the Army, I would have been in a much better space. So in the reserve side, the VA home loan, you have to sign a 6-year contract to get access to this. Now, you can also go active for 90 days or longer and get direct access to the VA loan. If I was 17 or 18 and just joined, maybe I was in college, maybe I would have gone active. Maybe I would have gone on to deployment. But then again, those are formative times in your life where you're supposed to be meeting your significant other and starting to plan your future. If you spend 9 months overseas and you miss out on kind of finding your life partner, is that worth it? I don't know, right? Because by junior, senior year, you better have a significant other because a lot of the quality people, I would say, are locked up at that time. Then they go off and get married and start a family. It's very interesting if you go to college and you don't find a significant other in college. I think it's very interesting. I didn't even go to school. I went for 2 semesters, then dropped out, started a real estate company, real estate business. I own some rental properties now, but I went back to school from 26 years old to 28 years old. But I met my now wife. We got married in September. I met her when I was 23 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She was in school. I was not in school, but I was really worried about not having a significant other because I knew I better find my significant other while I was in school or I would be in trouble. Because as a man, a lot of the girls are kind of seeking out the athletes or the attorneys or the doctors, the high quality men. They're all seeking those people out and they know that they have to find somebody before they get out of college because otherwise those men are locked up and then it's trouble from there. So you don't want to be stuck kind of alone when you're about to graduate college. So what I would do, what I did is I owned some real estate. So I was like, yeah, like, Anna, I'm not in college, but I got all this real estate. So I took her on a tour of all my real estate. I said, this is how I'm going to provide for our family in the future. We have a baby due in September, a baby girl. It's our first. Super excited about that. But like I wasn't in school, but I also was doing things and I had a plan and I have a good work ethic and all of these things, right? So that's how I sold her on being with me. If I just wasn't in school and didn't have anything going on, she'd probably be with somebody else, you know? So my point being in that long tangent right there is like giving up a year to deploy if you don't have a significant other in very important time in your life is extremely interesting. Is it worth it? Is it not? I'm not sure. There's a lot of kind of juggling back and forth right there. Now, if you are with somebody and then you deploy, the odds that they leave you in the formative years of 18 to 23 years old or whatever the case is, like that's probably pretty high. We often hear stories about somebody going overseas and on a deployment, and then they come back and their partner cheated on them or left them or whatever the case is, you know? So I don't know about the deployment thing. That's for you to kind of sort out. But one thing I would have done if I would have joined earlier as well is air assault school and airborne. Air assault's fairly easy on the reserve side, but airborne can be a little bit more difficult on the reserve side, especially. So I'm 42 Alpha, which is a human resource specialist. So I'm not some like gung-ho. I'm more of a support, kind of helping all these soldiers with their pay, with uploading documents, with their promotions, with their awards, all of those things. And the reason I chose my specific MOS is because I didn't want to deploy right away. So I was like, okay, let me pick a support position because I knew I was going to start a family. I joined at 26. I knew I was going to come out and we were going to start a family. So I was like, okay, well, I don't want to deploy right now. I'm not going to go in the trenches, be 11 Bravo infantry and hope to get deployed. That's not where I was at in my life cycle. Will I deploy later on in life? You know, there's probably a pretty good possibility that once my kids are like older, I don't know. I'm talking about this, but like I think that I would like to before I got kicked out for being too old. That could be really interesting and fun. But at the same time, if my kids need me here and whatever the case is, maybe I'll stay here, you know, but it would be cool to kind of get a deployment. But I say that now without kids. Kids are going to be the most important thing in my life. So we shall see on that one. But yeah, I would say that's going to wrap up this video here. So all of those things are kind of very important. I know I went on a long tangent about finding your partner, but the 18 to 23-ish years old, those are really important. It's a really important time in your life. So sacrificing a year of that to go overseas, tricky, but might be worth it. It depends who you ask. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Please subscribe for more videos like this. I'm going to take you from new recruit to wealthy veteran. My method has been real estate. I own 7 properties. I got good cash flow. One of my properties just burned down. That's a whole nother story for a different video, but subscribe. I'm here for you. I want to help you get wealthy. Cheers.